I don't know shit about the country genre, but I do know about Beyonce.
Hey, Queen. Girl, you have done it again. Constantly raising the bar for us all and doing it flawlessly.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video, I'm going to be giving my 2025 Grammys predictions and hot takes. The Grammys are upon us, and the competition among the pop girlies are probably the most insane that it's ever been in years. So I'm here to discuss who I think should win based off of my own personal preference, and also who I think will win. My qualifications for judging music are that I A, was in choir in elementary school, B, have very limited vocal training, but C, played the piano for 2 years and the violin for 9 years, as did every other Asian American kid. You either play the piano, the violin, or the ukulele, and if you are the Asian American final boss, you've played all three. D, I've been using Spotify since 2011, and that's probably one of my very few accomplishments during my time on this precious dying earth. Does any of that carry any weight? Not really, but I am a mainstream media consumer and pop culture enthusiast, so I feel like I'm gonna do a decent job. Also, just a reminder that when I give my opinions in this video, they are just my opinions. You have the free will to agree or disagree with me, and you really shouldn't get too upset about it. In fact, if a random brown woman on the internet talking about Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter is what sends you into an angry rant in a comment section, you have bigger fish to fry. So I'm gonna begin with the big three, starting with Record of the Year. And the nominees for Record of the Year this year are Now and Then by the Beatles, Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, 360 by Charli XCX, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, Good Luck Babe by chappell, roan, and Fortnite by Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. Now, remember that this category is more about the engineering of the song, so it's not just awarded to the artist, but it's also awarded to the mixers, the sound engineers, the recording engineers, the mixing engineers, the producers, etc. So Fortnite wasn't even nominated for pop duo / group performance, so I'm kind of ruling that out. That just isn't a good sign for me for that one. I don't think the Beatles are gonna get it. It would be a controversial pick for the Academy considering the use of AI for that track. Beyonce has never won in this category, and I don't think it's the one that she'll be taking home out of all the things that she's nominated for this year. So that leaves the rest of the pop girls, and the pop girls have really strong contenders, and it's worth noting that the Recording Academy loves Billie and has awarded her for this category twice already. And I wouldn't be mad if Billie won Record of the Year because I like Phineas's production, and I think the Academy also does as well. Also, the song has an infectious melody, and I think it really does stand out from the others. Same with Not Like Us, but I do think that Sabrina might take it. If not Sabrina, then Billie. The next category is the biggest category of the night, and that's Album of the Year. The nominees for this one are New Blue Sun by Andre 3000, Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, BRAT by Charli XCX, JC Volume 4 by Jacob Collier, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by chappell, roan, and The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. Jacob Collier and Andre 3000 I don't think will take it just because Jacob isn't nominated for any other category, and I know that doesn't automatically take him out of the running. However, like with Fortnite, that's just not a good sign to me. As for Andre 3000, he's been awarded by the Academy before. However, this album is an instrumental alt jazz album, so would be a different pick by the Academy than what I might predict that they would pick, and I just don't think that they would pick this album. As for the Tortured Poets Department, I hope it's not winning. Swifties, please understand that I did not dislike this album. However, in my personal opinion, it's not her best. I definitely don't think it stands out against the others. When I look at the albums nominated, I see an album with a huge cultural impact like BRAT, a big creative risk like Cowboy Carter, and massive pop breakthroughs like Short and Sweet and The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. And I just don't think that Tortured Poets Department really matched any of those albums quite like that, except for maybe in terms of commercial success. So that brings me down to Chappell, Sabrina, Charli, Billie, and Beyonce. And something just tells me that Chappell and Sabrina's categories are going to be the pop specific categories, not this one. Chappell was one of my top artists of 2024, don't get me wrong. I just think that the Academy is not going to pick her album. They've also never awarded Beyonce for this category, criminally, offensively, and they've already given this award to Billie a couple times. My personal pick would be Cowboy Carter, BRAT being my second choice, but I think that BRAT will win actually. Maybe Hit Me Hard and Soft. I just think that BRAT's success and Charli's nominations are very similar to what I've seen from Album of the Year recipients in the past. This category is probably the hardest to predict, which is why I don't want to exactly rule out Hit Me Hard and Soft, but I don't think it's going to be Chappell or Sabrina, and I'm not very optimistic about Beyonce getting her flowers. The last of the big three is Song of the Year, and the nominees for this category are A Bar Song by Shaboozey, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Fortnite by Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone, Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter, and Texas Hold'em by Beyonce. Now, as opposed to Record of the Year, Song of the Year is more about the composition and the writing of the song. It's like a songwriter's award. And usually the Academy picks a song that has an interesting story to it or a cause, and I just think that in this category specifically, Good Luck Babe stands out to me. It's a song about compulsory heterosexuality, so if it were to win, I think it'd be one of the first very explicitly queer songs to win in this category. But do I think it will win? I think it has a high chance. However, something is telling me that it might go to Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. I can't really explain it. I just feel like it will. Like, something in my bones is telling me that Billie Eilish is going to win record and or song of the year. Like, I would be very surprised if she got neither, just based off of the Academy's decisions in the past. The next big category is Best New Artist, and this year there are very good nominees. There's Benson Boone, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii Khruangbin, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. There's Ray, Chappell Roan, Shaboozey, and Teddy Swims. And something to remember about this category is that it's not really about who is new to the industry, but more so about who has really come into their own as an artist and who has finally had a career breakthrough in the past year. A lot of people get confused about this because they see a name like Sabrina Carpenter's and they're like, wait, she's definitely not a new artist. She's been making music for 10 years and this is her 6th album. How is she a new artist? And it's for the reason I specified. It's not about who is actually brand new. It's about who has had a breakthrough, which is why as a recording artist, it's important for you and your teams to submit yourself for Grammy consideration at the right time. Because Tate McRae, for example, wasn't eligible to submit herself this year because she's already submitted herself the maximum amount of times that you can for Best New Artist, which is 3. And if she and her team had waited post Greedy, which is when she had a breakthrough in her career, this would have been the perfect time for her to be nominated. I really do think that this category is down to Sabrina versus Chappell, and I do think that personally Chappell should win based off of her story alone. Like Sabrina, she's also been working at this for 10 years, and she got dropped by her previous label after releasing Pink Pony Club. Also, she wrote The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess while working at a donut shop. Like, she just seems like she represents what the Best New Artist category is all about. And I do think that they're either going to give it to Chappell for that reason, or they might give it to Sabrina as well for her commercial success, and also because she is a more palatable pop star. They're both very talented and both very deserving. I'm just leaning more towards Chappell. Now we've got the Producer of the Year category, and for this one we have Alicia, D-Mile, Ian Fitchuk, Mustard, and Dan Nigro. This one is kind of a no-brainer to me. Dan Nigro feels like the successor to Jack Antonoff in the sense that everyone kind of sees Jack Antonoff as the guy that works with all the pop girly icons like Lorde, Taylor Swift, and Lana Del Rey. And Dan Nigro is kind of taking that torch in terms of how he is working with the pop girlies like Chappell Roan and Olivia Rodrigo. Dan Nigro having his work with Olivia and Chappell from this past year to show will definitely take home this award, and I think he should. Now for Songwriter of the Year, the nominees are Jesse Alexander, Amy Allen, Edgar Barrera, Jessie Jo Dillon, and Ray. And same kind of deal here. I think it will go to Amy Allen. She was a writer on Scared of My Guitar by Olivia Rodrigo. She was also a writer on a few of the songs on Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter and some of Tate's songs as well. I see the Academy choosing her. She's up against Ray though, who could win and I would love to see win, but I think it's going to be Amy Allen. Now for the pop category, starting with Best Pop Solo Performance, and the nominees for this category are Bodyguard by Beyonce, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, Apple by Charli XCX, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan. This, I feel, again, comes down to Sabrina or Chappell. And hot take? But I didn't really like Espresso by Sabrina. It's very catchy. However, I was and still am of the opinion that Sabrina's best songs on Short and Sweet were the ones that weren't singles. That's sort of a lot of the times how I feel about Taylor Swift too. Like on Torture Poets Department, I really did not care all that much for I Can Do It With a Broken Heart and Fortnite. However, songs like Clara Bow, Guilty as Sin, Loss of My Life are all great songs. So before like anyone else mistakes me for a Sabrina Carpenter hater, no, that's not it. Anyway, based on my personal taste, I'd want to give it to Good Luck Babe. However, I think it's going to go to Espresso because I don't think anything really screamed pop solo this past year like Espresso. The next category is Best Pop Duo / Group Performance, and the nominees for this category are Us by Gracie Abrams featuring Taylor Swift, Levi's Jeans by Beyonce featuring Post Malone, Guess by Charli XCX and Billie Eilish, The Boy Is Mine by Ariana Grande, Brandy, and Monica, and Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. I really don't think the Academy cares to award Ariana Grande, as heinous as that is considering her vocal talent. I don't think it'll be Levi's Jeans, although great song, and I really don't think It'll Be Us. And don't get me wrong, it's a decent song. I just think my thing with Gracie Abrams' songs is that I like the bridges far more than the rest of the song. Bela Delgado has a rant about this very predicament that I felt was entirely accurate in terms of my own listening experience with Gracie Abrams' discography.
I almost fully want to get into Gracie Abrams' music, but the problem is that I have one overwhelming, towering criticism of it, and this is so fucking specific, but her bridges are consistently incongruent better than the rest of the song, and it just makes me extremely fucking uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, it's not that the rest of the song is necessarily bad, it's giving Hillsong worship. It's giving like Owl City Christian music. It's not really what I want to hear when I'm just out and about, taking a walk in the car, what the fuck ever. However, for that 20 seconds of that bridge, almost every damn time, this girl turns into the Taylor Swift disciple that she's been sold to us as. She turns into fucking goddamn Amadeus Mozart, John Lennon, and Paul McCartney in one body. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, and it just takes me out of the song completely.
I think it's either going to go to Guess by Charli and Billie or Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. And now this one is hard to predict because Guess is really iconic. It includes Charli, who has many nominations this year, and Billie, who is a very highly awarded artist at the Grammys. But also, it's Lady fucking Gaga and Bruno Mars. And this song came out in, what, December, and it already has 1 billion streams. So I want Guess to win, but it. My opinion is the only opinion. It's gonna go to Guess. Now we finally have the Best Pop Vocal Album category, and for this category the nominees are Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan, and The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. I am going to be 1000% real with you guys. SpongeBob aside, Eternal Sunshine was a banger of an album. That album, as well as Chappell Roan's album, were probably my most played albums of 2024, and you know what? I'm tired of people sleeping on it. But I know it isn't winning. I know Eternal Sunshine isn't winning as much as I want it to. I know it won't. I also would love for The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess to win, but I think it's more likely to go to Sabrina or Billie. And maybe this is a weird take, but I feel like the result of this category will impact what I predict for record and song of the year. Like, the result of this category will give me an indication of how the rest of the night will go. Best Dance Pop Recording has Make You Mine by Madison Beer, Von Dutch by Charli XCX, Lamar by Billie Eilish, Yes and by Ariana Grande, and Got Me Started by Troye Sivan. Again, strong contenders. This time we have Madison Beer and Troye Sivan in the mix here, which is very cool. I don't think they're gonna win. I think it's down to Yes and or Von Dutch. However, I don't really think Yes and was really giving as much. I don't see it winning over Von Dutch, nor do I think it should. For Best Dance / Electronic Album, we have BRAT by Charli XCX, 3 by Fortet, Hyperdrama by Justice, Timeless by Kaytranada, and Tell Us by Zed. This is incredibly easy. BRAT. There's absolutely no way they're not giving it to BRAT. In fact, if they don't give it to BRAT, that would be kind of crazy. So that's kind of it for the main categories and the most highly anticipated categories, which I feel like I have the most knowledge in. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about the metal or rock categories because then you guys will be like, wow, she is talking out of her ass. That being said, I do listen to a lot of alternative and R&B music and do have some opinions for those genres. So what I'm going to do is very quickly go through the main categories for those genres and say who I think should win and who I think will win. Although, just a disclaimer, I don't think I'll be as accurate with these categories. For Best Alternative Music Performance, there's Neon Pill by Cage the Elephant, Song of the Lake by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Starburster by Fontaines DC, Bye Bye by Kim Gordon, and Fleet by St. Vincent. First of all, it's criminal that Clairo didn't get nominated in this category. However, I choose Neon Pill personally, but I think it's going to go to Flea. For Best Alternative Music Album, there's Wild God by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Charm by Clairo, The Collective by Kim Gordon, What Now by Brittany Howard, and All Born Screaming by St. Vincent. I think it should be Charm, but I think it's going to go to All Born Screaming. For Best R&B Performance, there's Guidance by Jhené Aiko, Residuals by Chris Brown, Here We Go by Coco Jones, Made For Me by Mooney Long, and Saturn by SZA. This is tough because I love all of these performances so much, except for Chris Brown. He can leave disrespectfully. I love Saturn, so that would be my pick, but I think it might go to Guidance. For Best R&B Song, there's After Hours by Kehlani, Burning by Thames, Here We Go by Coco Jones, Ruin Me by Mooney Long, and Saturn by SZA. Again, all incredible choices. However, I think Saturn should and will win this one. For Best Progressive R&B Album, there's So Glad to Know You by Avery Sunshine, En Route by Duran Bernard, Bando Stone and the New World by Childish Gambino, Crash by Kehlani, and Wylod by NX Worries. I love Kehlani and would want Crash to win. However, I think it's gonna go to Childish Childish Gambino because this is supposedly his last album, at least under this alias, and I feel like the Academy is gonna want to give him a sweet send-off or something like that. For Best R&B Album, there's 11:11 by Chris Brown, Vanilla Black by Layla Hathaway, Revenge by Mooney Long, Algorithm by Lucky Day, and Coming Home by Usher. I am personally gunning for Mooney Long, however, I think it's gonna go to Usher. And lastly, I don't know shit about the country genre, but I do know about Beyonce. I don't think that they would give her Best Country Album, but I do think they would give her Best Country Song, and they better fucking give her and Miley Best Country Duo. Alright, so that just about wraps up my predictions and hot takes for this year's Grammys. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed hearing my opinions, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments. I am genuinely excited to see how accurate I am. I swear to God, if I am wrong about all of these, I am never making one of these videos ever again. Just kidding. I don't know, maybe. We'll see.